Your mind isn't broken. It's been hijacked by noise, distraction, endless dopamine. You don't scroll because you want to. You scroll because you've been programmed to. But here's the truth no one tells you. You can reprogram your mind in 7 days. You can rewire your focus, your emotions, your direction. How? By doing what the ancient Stoics did, living with intention, discipline, and complete inner control. If you've ever felt mentally foggy, anxious, reactive, or lost, this is your reset. Welcome to day 1 of the 7-day Stoic Challenge. Each day, you'll practice a mental habit designed to sharpen your mind, calm your emotions, and reclaim your life. And today's habit is simple, but ruthless, because it attacks the one thing stealing your peace every morning: your phone. The Stoics didn't wait to feel motivated. They built systems. They didn't chase mood. They built character. Their mornings weren't random. They were sacred. While others wandered through life reacting, the Stoics acted with clarity, purpose, focus. They knew the first hour of your day isn't just a routine, it's a declaration. You either own it or you surrender your mind to chaos. And today, you'll choose to own it. Day 1. Habit. Own the first hour or lose the day. How you spend your first 60 minutes determines the trajectory of your entire day. And if you win the morning, you win the mind. But here's what most people do. They wake up and instantly reach for their phone. Dopamine hits, notifications, news, DM as noise. And just like that, their mind is hijacked. They didn't choose to react. They were trained to. Today, that ends. Today, you break the loop. You begin your day like a warrior preparing for battle. Step 1. No phone for 60 minutes. This isn't optional. For the next hour after waking, your phone is off limits. No Instagram, no emails, no group chats. Your brain is in its most impressionable state, so protect it. This first hour is your temple. Guard it like your soul lives there, because it does. If you fail this step, the rest doesn't matter. Step 2. Read one line of Stoic wisdom. Not 10 pages, not a podcast. One line. From Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. Here's an example. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Write it down. Reflect on it. Make it your anchor for the day. Because Stoicism isn't about collecting knowledge. It's about confronting yourself with uncomfortable truths. That's how transformation starts. Step 3. Sit in complete stillness for 5 minutes. No music, no stimulation. Just you, your breath, and silence. You'll want to fidget. You'll want to escape. Don't. This is the detox. This is the resistance. What you're hearing isn't chaos. It's the static your mind has been avoiding for years. Sit with it. Let it rise. And watch it pass. Because when you can sit with stillness, you no longer run from yourself. You train the soul to listen before it reacts. Why is this so important? Because the algorithm doesn't just want your time. It wants your attention, your identity, your willpower. Every scroll chips away at your self-control, but every silent morning rebuilds it. This is how you take back the throne. Not through hacks, not through motivation, but through brutal clarity. You don't need a morning routine that makes you feel good. You need one that makes you disciplined. That's what this is. 1 hour of total silence, no phone, one idea, 5 minutes of presence. Simple? Yes. Easy? Not even close. But the Stoic path was never easy. It was forged in discomfort, and it's exactly what makes you unstoppable. This was day 1. Already, you're ahead of 99% of people. You didn't chase. You centered. You didn't scroll. You studied. You didn't react. You reclaimed. Now protect that momentum. Don't break the chain. Most people never hear their own mind. They hear the world's noise, looped inside their head, every opinion, every judgment, every voice, except their own. But here's a question the Stoics lived by. What do I truly control? Not your past, not other people, not the world. Just this, your thoughts, your choices, your inner dialogue. And today, day 2, is about taking radical control of the one thing no one can ever steal, your voice. Welcome to day 2 of the Stoic Challenge. If you completed day 1, you've already done what 99% won't. You've protected your morning. But now, we shift focus from silence to self-talk. Today's habit will expose the toxic loops running in the background of your mind. And once you see them, you can break them. Here's the hard truth. Most people don't have thoughts. Their thoughts have them. They don't choose what to believe. They inherit beliefs through trauma, trends, and repetition. The Stoics knew this. That's why Marcus Aurelius journaled every morning. Not for productivity, but to filter lies from truth. They called it examining your impressions. Because not every thought deserves your trust. Not every belief deserves your obedience. Today, you take control back. Day 2. Habit. Audit your inner dialogue. The voice inside your mind is either your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. The difference? Awareness. Let me show you how to build it. Step 1. Identify the loops today. Carry a small notebook or open a clean note on your phone. Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative, automatic or reactive, write it down, word for word. I can't do this. They don't respect me. What if I fail? They're probably judging me. These are the loops. Invisible, repetitive, destructive. And you can't delete a program you haven't seen. So for 12 hours today, become the watcher. Catch the voice. Record it. Don't edit. Don't judge. Just observe. Step 2. Challenge the thought. Once you've written the thought, hit pause. Now ask, is this 100% true? Where did I learn to think like this? What would Marcus say about this thought? Let's take an example. Thought, I'll probably mess this up. Stoic response. Then let me fail with discipline. Let me train through it. The Stoic path isn't about fake positivity. It's about confronting the mind with rational power. So question the thought. Test its logic. Don't let emotion pass as truth. Step 3. Replace with a rational counter. Now, write a rational replacement. Take the weak thought and build its opposite. I'm not good enough. I'm still sharpening my skill. Progress is power. They're judging me. What they think is not my concern. My virtue is. This is too hard. Hard is the path, and I'm built for it. Do this every time the loop appears, and by evening, you'll realize something shocking. Most of your stress was self-created. The world can't break you, but your thoughts can. The Stoics didn't seek comfort. They sought clarity. Because in clarity, you become free. You're not your fears. You're not your doubts. You're not your history. You're the voice that responds to them. And that voice must be trained. This exercise isn't therapy, it's war. War against unconscious programming, against thought patterns you didn't choose. But today, you do choose. Today, you don't react to thoughts, you direct them. This is what makes a Stoic dangerous. Calm mind, clear values, rational response. That's unbreakable. Tonight, before bed, open your notes. Reread the loops you caught. Now look at what replaced them. Feel that shift? That's the real you taking the wheel. Add one final journal line. Today I noticed my mind, and I chose my thoughts. That's victory. This is day 2. Now you don't just own your morning, you own your voice. You no longer live inside loops. You break them, rewire them, replace them with strength. And the next day, we go deeper. You've silenced the noise. You've challenged the thought. Next, you'll confront the emotion. Get ready for day 3 of the Stoic Challenge. It's not about feeling better. It's about becoming stronger. You've been lied to about emotions. They said, feel it all. They said, follow your heart. But what if your emotions are lying to you? What if your anxiety isn't truth, but a habit? What if your fear isn't a warning, but a loop? Today, you'll stop being emotionally owned and start becoming emotionally disciplined. Welcome to day 3 of the Stoic Challenge. You've owned your morning. You've taken control of your inner voice. Now we take on the next battleground, emotion. Because your emotions aren't just feelings, they're reactions to interpretation, and you control the interpretation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your judgment of them." Read that again. It's not the thing that hurts you. It's what you tell yourself about the thing. The Stoics weren't emotionless robots. They felt everything, and still chose discipline. They didn't run from emotion. They trained through it. And today, you will too. Day 3. Habit. Pause the reaction. Process the emotion. This is emotional mastery, not suppression, not avoidance, just power over response. Here's how you train it. Step 1. Interrupt the spike. Throughout today, anytime you feel an emotional spike, anger, jealousy, fear, guilt, don't react. Literally say out loud or in your mind, pause. Take one breath, then another. This breaks the pattern. This creates the space between stimulus and response. And in that space, Stoicism lives. Step 2. Name the emotion. Accurately. Most people react to emotions they haven't even defined. They say, I'm pissed, I'm anxious. But they never ask, what exactly am I feeling? Is it shame? Is it insecurity? Is it fear of rejection? Write it down. Because naming is power. What you can label, you can lead. Step 3. Ask the Stoic question. Now, ask the Stoic filter, is this emotion based on truth or interpretation? You're not angry because they disrespected you. You're angry because you expected them to respect you. You're not anxious because something is wrong. You're anxious because you're predicting disaster, and predictions aren't facts. The Stoics understood this. Most suffering comes from the stories we tell ourselves, not the facts themselves. Step 4. Choose the virtue response. This is where the Stoic separates from the crowd. After the pause, after naming, after questioning, you choose your response based on virtue, not emotion. What does that mean? If you feel anger, choose patience. If you feel envy, choose admiration. If you feel fear, choose courage. You can't stop feelings from arriving, but you can choose who gets to stay. Here's the truth. If you don't control your emotions will control your actions, and your actions will control your life. Stoicism isn't the absence of emotion, it's the discipline of emotion. It's being able to feel everything and still choose your values over your moods, because moods fade. But your character is permanent, and the man who acts from character can't be broken. At the end of today, sit for 10 minutes and replay one emotional moment from your day. What triggered you? What did you feel? How did you react? What virtue could you have applied? Now, write the alternate version. You're not rewriting history. You're preparing for tomorrow. This is the mental gym. You don't grow by avoiding discomfort. You grow by practicing your response to it. There's a famous story of Cato, the Roman Stoic. In court, he was publicly insulted. Everyone waited for his comeback, but he stayed silent. Later, someone asked, "Why didn't you respond?" Cato answered, "Would I let a fool decide when I speak?" That's emotional discipline, not letting external noise decide your inner state. That's what you're building today. You've trained your mornings. You've taken back your voice. Now, you've started to master your emotions. That puts you in rare air. But we're not done. In next day, we sharpen the weapon Stoics used more than any other, journaling. But not in the way you've heard. This will be your blueprint for clarity, growth, and discipline. So stay focused, stay committed. If you died tonight, would your thoughts die with you? Or would they leave behind a mind that was actually yours? Not society's, not your ego's, yours. The truth is, most people don't know what they think. They know what they scroll. They know what they feel. But they've never examined what's real. Today, that changes. Because today, we bring the Stoic scalpel to the mind, and we write the truth. Welcome to day 4 of the Stoic Challenge. If you've made it here, you're not just motivated. You're committed. You've owned your mornings. You've mastered your thoughts. You've paused your emotions. Now you start the habit that Marcus Aurelius used to build an empire, journaling. But this isn't a Dear Diary. This is war planning. This is mental armor. This is philosophy on paper. The greatest Stoic writings ever recorded weren't written for books. They were written in private, in battlefields, in silence. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations to himself, not to be famous, but to stay grounded. Journaling wasn't about reflection. It was about recalibration. Every day he asked, where did I fall short? Where did I react? What can I do better tomorrow? That's the system. That's today's challenge. Day 4. Habit. Journaling for war, not comfort. Every morning before the world steals your mind, you write, not to feel better, but to think clearer. Here's the system. Step 1. What am I carrying today? Before you scroll, before you speak, write this down. What emotion, thought, or weight am I carrying today? Don't censor it. Don't sugarcoat it. Write with total honesty. Fear? Doubt? Resentment? Name it. Put it on paper. Because what you don't write down controls you in silence. Step 2. What do I truly control? Right underneath that emotion, write this. What part of this do I actually control? This is Stoic gold, because 90% of your stress comes from things that aren't yours to carry. You don't control their opinion. You don't control the outcome. You only control your actions. Write that clarity. Let it cut the noise. Step 3. What virtue am I training today? Now we go from passive to active. Today I will train courage, patience, honesty, humility. Pick one. This is your compass, your inner standard, your lens for every reaction. You're not journaling to vent. You're journaling to prepare for battle. Like a soldier checks his weapon, you check your mind. Most people don't live their life. They just survive their reactions. But journaling, Stoic journaling, interrupts that loop. It reclaims the driver's seat. You stop being a victim of emotion, and you start being a student of self-mastery. Because when you write the truth, you expose the lies that fear wants you to believe. And once they're on paper, they lose their power. This is more than reflection. This is mental combat. Imagine this. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, leading armies, facing betrayal, disease, pressure from all sides. What does he do every morning? He opens his journal and writes, "Today I will meet people who are selfish, arrogant, deceitful." Not because he's pessimistic, but because he's preparing. He writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This isn't poetry. This is preparation. And now you write too. Tonight, do one final thing. Before bed, open your journal. Write down, where did I act in alignment with my virtue? Where did I fall short? What can I do better tomorrow? No shame, no guilt, just truth. That's how Stoics sharpen themselves, not with hype, with honest reps. Day 4 is complete, and today you built a mental weapon most men never develop: self-awareness. You didn't just write, you clarified, you prepared, you rewired your identity through ink. But in next day, we train something even more rare: deliberate discomfort. Because the Stoic man isn't just calm in peace, he's composed in chaos. That's day 5. Get ready. Comfort is the enemy. Not because it's bad, but because it tricks you into thinking you're safe. But you're not. You're just untested. See, the world doesn't care how calm you are in silence. It wants to know, can you hold your frame when the storm hits? And the only way to train for the storm is to walk into it on purpose. Today, we suffer on purpose, with purpose. Welcome to Day 5 of the Stoic Challenge. Today's habit isn't comfortable, it's not soft, it's not aesthetic, it's raw, real, and ruthless. Because the Stoics didn't just talk about virtue, they forged it. They made pain a classroom. And today, you do the same. Seneca wrote, "Set aside now and then a number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, and say to yourself, is this the condition I feared?" This was Stoic training, not in theory, but in voluntary hardship. Because when you face fear voluntarily, you strip it of its control. This is not about masochism. This is about mastery. Day 5. Habit. Deliberate discomfort. Today you will do one uncomfortable thing and do it with intention. Here's the challenge. Step 1. Choose your discomfort. Pick one of the following. Take a cold shower. Fast for 12 to 24 hours. Train your body until failure. Sit in public silence with no phone for 60 minutes. Sleep on the floor. Pick the one you fear most. That's your assignment. Because the Stoic doesn't run from difficulty. He walks into it, stares it down, and returns sharper. Step 2. Set a frame. Before you begin, say this aloud or in your journal. This is not suffering. This is sharpening. Because discomfort without intention is just pain, but discomfort with intention becomes transformation. Write down what you're doing, why you're doing it, what part of your identity you are forging through it. Example: I'm fasting for 24 hours to train hunger without panic, to show myself that I am not a slave to impulse. That's Stoicism in motion. Step 3. End with reflection. After your discomfort session, write this down. What did I feel? What did I learn? What would the weaker version of me have done? This is the rep that most people skip. But this is where the mental strength gets locked in. Pain without processing is wasted, but pain processed becomes power. The world is obsessed with avoiding pain. Numb it, escape it, blame someone for it. But the Stoic doesn't avoid pain. He transforms it. Cold? That's a mental test. Hunger? That's discipline. Exhaustion? That's proof of progress. You become what you're willing to endure. And if you never test yourself, you'll never meet your real self. Most men are soft because they've never been tested. They don't know what they can take. So they fold when life hits back. Not you. Not anymore. Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome. But every month, he fasted, slept on the floor, wore rough clothes. Why? To ask himself, is this what I feared? Because once you've lived through the thing you fear, you realize fear was just a story, and that's the essence of Stoicism. Reframe, rewire, reclaim. If you want to go deeper, don't make this a one-time habit. Pick a different discomfort for the next 3 mornings. Cold shower on day 6. Fast on day 7. Do a brutal workout on day 8. Optional. Track what thoughts arise. Track what excuses scream. Then watch your tolerance for chaos expand. Because the Stoic isn't fearless. He's trained. Before bed tonight, write one final line in your journal. Today, I became the kind of man who chooses discomfort to destroy weakness. Read that again. Not the man who endures it. The man who chooses it. That's identity alchemy. And you've just triggered it. You've silenced the noise. You've shaped the voice. You've calmed the emotion. You've faced the pain. Now, it's time to aim your power. Day 6 is about clarity of purpose. What are you building? Why are you here? What's the mission? Because a Stoic without a mission is just a man waiting to die. And that's not you. In Next Day, we define the mission. Every man eventually hits a wall. No motivation, no clarity, no fire, not because he's broken, but because he's aimless. The Stoics had a word for this feeling, acedia, a sickness of the soul, a fog that settles when you forget why you wake up. But that fog lifts when your mission returns. Today, Day 6, you define it. Welcome to Day 6 of the Stoic Challenge. So far you've owned your morning, controlled your inner voice, mastered your emotions, confronted discomfort. Now you take the most important step. You define your North Star, because the man without direction is prey to every distraction. And the Stoic was never prey. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth. But he didn't think in terms of goals. He thought in terms of purpose. He wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being." That's not a morning routine. That's mission clarity. He didn't get up to feel good. He got up to be good, to embody virtue in action. That's what today is about. Day 6. Habit. Define your mission. Purpose isn't something you find. It's something you decide. Today you write it, refine it, own it. Step 1. Ask the 3 Stoic questions. Open your journal, in silence, with total honesty. Write these 3 questions at the top. What kind of man am I becoming? What do I stand for, no matter the cost? What will I leave behind when I'm gone? Write your answers raw. Don't polish. Don't perform. This isn't content. This is character. You'll feel resistance. That's good. It means you're about to hit something real. Step 2. Create your mission code. Now, write a 3-sentence personal mission code. Here's the formula. 1-to-1, who you serve. 2. What values guide your actions. 3. What you're building every day, no matter what. Example. I serve those I lead, with truth, strength, and clarity. I act with discipline, courage, and calm under pressure. Every day I sharpen myself into a man worthy of trust. Write it. Memorize it. Read it every morning. This is your operating system. Step 3. Align your habits. A mission is useless if your daily actions betray it. Look at your habits. Ask, does my morning serve my mission? Does my work reflect my values? Do my friends challenge or comfort me? If it's not aligned, it's in the way. Cut it. This is how you go from drift to direction, from reaction to execution. Here's the hard truth. You will suffer in life. That's guaranteed. But suffering without meaning breaks a man. Suffering with purpose? That forges him. The Stoics weren't trying to escape pain. They were using it. Every representative, every silence, every fast, every journal line was aimed at a purpose. Without purpose, discipline dies. But with it, you become unstoppable. Epictetus was born a slave, beaten, disrespected, silenced. But he didn't focus on what he couldn't control. He focused on his mission, to be free, not outside, but within. He chose to become a teacher, a philosopher, a master of the soul, not because it was easy, but because it was his calling. Today, you decide yours. Every morning after you write your Stoic line, repeat your mission code, out loud, in front of the mirror, eyes locked. Example, I don't scroll, I don't react, I lead, I train, I building, because this is who I am. Say it until it feels like blood in your mouth. That's how you kill doubt. That's how you rewire your identity. Day 6 is complete. Now you're not just clear, you're locked in. And with clarity comes conviction. But there's one final thing that completes the Stoic transformation: contribution. Because a Stoic doesn't just master himself, he serves. That's Day 7, the final challenge, the final test. In Next Day, you become the one who leads others. A weak man thinks of himself. A strong man thinks of his standard. A Stoic? He thinks of his impact. You've trained the mind, sharpened the voice, faced the fire. But the final level is who you lift while you rise, because Stoicism isn't selfish, it's service. Today, you lead. Welcome to Day 7 of the Stoic Challenge. This is your final test, and it's not about silence, or journaling, or discomfort. It's about impact. Today's challenge: live your values in public. Because what you do when everyone's watching, that reveals who you really are. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Today's not about words, it's about presence, energy, integrity. If someone followed you around with a camera, would they see a Stoic? Or just a man who's interested in Stoicism, but not committed? Today you prove it, without talking about it. Day 7. Habit. Be the example. The final test isn't performance, it's presence. And here's how you do it. Step 1. Pick a situation where you usually react. It might be when you're interrupted, when you're judged, when plans change, when someone fails you, when your ego gets bruised. This is your battlefield. You're going to enter it deliberately today and act like a Stoic. Step 2. Replace. Reaction with virtue. Whatever happens, pause, then ask, what's the virtue move here? How can I respond with strength, not emotion? Examples: they insult you? Choose silence. You're delayed? Choose patience. You feel triggered? Choose curiosity. You're tempted to complain? Choose composure. You've trained for this for 6 days. Now it's time to execute. Step 3. Add one act of silent service. This is key. Today, do one thing for someone else, without telling them, without taking credit, without expecting anything back. It can be encouraging someone who's struggling, giving up your comfort for someone's peace, cleaning up when no one's watching, listening without interrupting, letting someone go first. This act is your final rep, because Stoicism without service is just Stoicism with a lowercase s. Everything you've built, your mind, your focus, your discipline, your pain tolerance, it means nothing if it doesn't lead others, not with speeches, not with ego, but with presence. The world needs more calm leaders, more rational men, more grounded protectors, and no one's coming to do that for you. So you step up. When Rome was hit by plague, everyone panicked, fled, blamed. But Marcus Aurelius, he stayed, led, encouraged. He showed up daily, composed, clear, centered, not because he had to, but because he was trained. That's what Stoicism looks like when it's tested in public. That's your standard. Tonight, write this: I've trained my mind. I've studied my soul. I've sharpened my habits. Now I become the man others rely on. That's the final transformation. You don't just do Stoic habits. You are the Stoic presence. Day 7 is complete. You've walked through fire. You've built a code. You've broken comfort. You've written truth. You've faced yourself. And now you lead others. This is not the end. It's the beginning. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more men like you. So stay disciplined, stay dangerous, stay anchored in the Stoic way. And if this challenge sharpened you, don't keep it to yourself. Be the proof.